Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Suhal and you are watching Arakan Times Daily English News. Today is Friday, 13 September 2024. Today's news headlines. Heavy fighting occurred between Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA and the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA in northern Mongdo Township. Details of today's news. Heavy clashes occurred between Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA and the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA in Botli Hamlet in Chembok village in northern Mondo Township, Arakan state of Myanmar on 10th of September at about 2:32 o'clock in the afternoon. The fight took place at about 2:32 o'clock in the afternoon on 10th of September at Bortoli Hamlet in Chembok village in northern Mondo Township, Arakan state of Myanmar. According to the villagers, a group of the members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA were heading towards through Botoli Hamlet in the break of Chembok village, and they were going with trucks, and there were 12 members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA, and they were ambushed and surrounded and then attacked by the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA. There were 12 members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA, and they were carrying ammunition like mortar shells, RPG, and other types of weapons with a truck. But they were attacked in their halfway in Botoli Hamlet in Chembok village by the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA, and it resulted all the 12 members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA were killed, and all their ammunition were successfully confiscated by the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA. A source said that the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA attacked another hideout of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA located in the east of the main road in Chembok village in northern Mondo Township, and it continued for about an hour at the same time. There is a base camp of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA in Chembok village in northern Mondo Township, and it was surrounded by the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA and attacked it with heavy firing, and it resulted more than 20 members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA were killed, and about 15 members were heavily injured. The source further went to say that there was about 40 members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA, and among them more than 20 were killed and about 15 were heavily wounded, and none escaped from there. The injured members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA were not even got opportunity to flee, but all of them were arrested. When the members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA who were injured were laying down inside their base camp, the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA entered inside the base camp and arrested all the injured members of the Arakan extremist group Arakan Army AA, and also confiscated many weapons and many other equipments as well. Most of the members of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA were killed in the attacks, and some were injured, and the injured members were not even allowed to flee, but they all were arrested and all their belongings were confiscated as well as weapons of the dead bodies by the soldiers of Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA. Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA is repeatedly attacking the hideouts of the Arakan extremist group known as Arakan Army AA in both Butidong Township and Mongdo Township in Arakan state of Myanmar, and they will continue attacking until the rights of the Rohingyas are restored and Rohingyas are independent.